Okay, this is how to memorize the monatomic ions. First, we have to know some prerequisites. At least you should know the halogens, which are the group 17, FClBrI. Now, for fluorine, we don't have any polyatomic ion involving fluorine, but for the rest, yes, we do. I like to put them in the form of a table. I'll start from Cl, FClBrI, and I'll put an oxygen here. Now, move down and put an extra oxygen, add an oxygen, add an oxygen, add an oxygen. Only 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or like, sorry, not 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, we finish from Cl. Now it's Br time. Bromine. BrO. BrO2. Add oxygen. BrO3. BrO4. FClBrI. Now it's iodine turn. IO. IO2. IO3. IO4. Now, because they're polyatomic ions, there are ions, right? And ions have charges. So what's the charge on all of these? The halogens, they have a charge of -1. All of the halogens. So negative, 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 negative. Now, to the naming part. I'll start from these two, the ones that have 2 and 3 oxygen atoms. The ones that have smaller number of oxygen atoms, I'll give them a suffix of "ite" because they are smaller. I remember it by cute. يعني "ite" it's cuter than 8. 8 means like something big. "Ite" means something small. Cute. So "ite", small, cute. So we have chlorine, Cl, chlorine. So I'll give it chlorite, ite. Now for the bigger oxygen, chlorate. Now what about the ones that have smaller, even smaller oxygen atoms? I'll give it a prefix hypo, and I'll just use the chlorite from the previous one, chlorite. So it's the same one, but I give it a prefix hypo. Now, what about the larger one? I'll give it a prefix per, and I'll just use this from the previous one. So chlorate. Now, I repeat the same process on all of these. Bromine, this will be bromite. The larger one, bromate. Even the smaller one, I'll give it hypobromite. And the larger one, I'll give it perchlorate. Perbromate. Okay, now for the iodine, iodite. I can't spell iodite. The larger one, iodate. Notice the suffix ite. The cuter one, ite. The bigger one, ate. Or you can say the bigger one ate the ite because it's greater. Okay, whatever. And now even the smaller one, you'll give it a prefix of hypo. So hypoiodite. And the larger one, give it a prefix per. So periodate. Okay? Easy. Now, what about the rest? Because this is not a full list, of course. There are more. So I memorized them in the word nasab, the Arabic word nasab. English, it will translate to NSP, nasab. Why I memorize it this way? Because N stands for nitrogen, S stands for sulfur, P stands for phosphorus. So I will write on these two rows the nasab polyatomic ions. So NO2, NO3. We finished from the N. Now onto the S. SO3, SO4. We finished from the S. Onto the P. PO3, PO4. We finished from the P. Now we're done. What about the charges, you may ask? 1, 2, 3, right? So nasab goes first, S goes second, P goes third. So these corresponds to the charges. So negative, negative. It's negative 1, negative 1. Now the S has a 2, so 2 minus, 2 minus. P has 3, so 3 minus, 3 minus. Easy? Easy. Now, onto the naming of each. Same thing. The smaller version of the polyatomic will get 8, and the larger one will get 8. So this is nitrogen, so nitrite. The larger one, nitrate. Remove these. Sulfur, sulfite, sulfate. This is the smaller version. This is the larger version. Smaller version, 8. Larger version, 8. So I hope you get the idea. Last but not least, the phosphorus, phosphite, phosphate. Okay, let me move this to have more area. Now, we're not done yet. These are not the full list, but this way you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 done already. Now, for the next ones, you have to memorize these, but you will categorize them based on the charges. So I'll start from the -1 charge. We have first the permanganate, which is a common one. You will see it often. MnO4 minus. Okay. This is called permanganate. Manganate. Another one is acetate. C2H3O2 minus. This is called acetate. Now another common one from acids and bases, the OH minus, which is the hydroxide. This one you know it already, so you don't have to memorize it. Now we have Cn minus, which is the cyanide. Sorry, there is an A here after the Y. Cyanide. Okay, if you add an S to it, it will become thiocyanide. Nate. 8. So if you add an S to it, thiocyanate. Without an S, cyanide. And lastly, the N3 minus, which is azide. Easy, in my opinion. Wallah, easy, if you categorize them this way. Now, for the -2 charges, we have a common one called CrO4 2 minus, which is the chromate. Now, if you double the Cr, you will have dichromate. So Cr2 2O7 2 minus. This is dichromate. Now notice we didn't multiply by 2, because if we did, we'll have Cr2O8. So it's not actually multiplying by 2. So you have to be careful with the oxygen. It's 7, not 8. But it's called a dichromate. Or dichromate, afwan. So, yeah. And why it does have an 8? Because it has a large number of oxygen. So the ones that have 3 and above will have an 8 suffix. So it follows the same rule. So chromate, not chromite. So chromate, and if you double it, you'll get dichromate, and notice the oxygen has 7 only. Same thing, permanganate, the oxygen is 4. So permanganate, it ends with an ATE. This one, it's something that you have to memorize, يعني مش والله auto. So yeah, let's continue. Carbonate, which is CO3 2 minus. This is carbonate. CO3 2 minus. We have oxalate, which يعني it's not common, but you have to know it. 2 minus oxalate. And lastly, the peroxide, O2 minus 2, O2 minus. This is peroxide. So the most important ones with the exception list اللي ما قدرت احطهم في التable are permanganate, acetate, hydroxide. Maybe you'll get these, but you won't get the azide. It's rarely super rare to get azide. And from this list you'll get until mostly all of them, but this I rarely saw it in the previous. But yeah, it's better to remember them all. Now these are the negative polyatomic ions. What about the positive? All have a negative charge, if you notice. We have only 4 that has a positive charge, which are NH4 plus, you know it already, it's ammonium. H3O plus, which is the hydronium from acids and bases, so you know it already, hydronium. And the 2 mercuries. We have 2 versions of mercuries, Hg plus 2 and Hg2 2 plus. So notice this only one Hg, 1 mercury, and this is 2. They have the same charge. So 1 charge, 2 charge. And this is mercury 2 with the Roman thing, and this is mercury 1. Now how to remember this? Just take, imagine there is a 1 here, take the quotient of this. So 2 over 1 is 2. So this way I know it's mercury 2, not mercury 1. Same thing, 2 over 2 is 1. So this is mercury 1. This is the way I memorize it. So these are the positive polyatomic ions, and these are the negative polyatomic ions. So it's in a form of a table, instead of what the book used to present them. This way it's much clearer. Just repeat the same table, draw it multiple times like I did, and you will hopefully 100% sure that you will memorize them easily. See how many times I repeated them when I took the course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the 7th time. So yeah, this is the way I did it, and I memorized them all back actually. So yeah, good luck with your midterm.